Therefore, there is no need for you to panic or to rush. You continue to shoot your projects. The bigger point is that if your camera is in working condition right now, don't worry about it. Don't panic about it. There's nothing wrong. Hi there, welcome to another important episode of Frames TM. You must have heard, if you're a Z8 owner or a intender, that you must have heard that Nikon has recalled the Z8, or at least they have said that, bring in your Z8 and let's check it, or take your product serial number, feed it in our website, and see if your camera could be suffering from a problem. If there is a problem found, then you will not be able to rotate the lens after attaching it onto the mount and fix it properly, right? That will not happen, or maybe you will not get the clicking sound. So you will have any degree of trouble basically mounting the lenses on your Z8. So I was very worried about it. The moment I heard about it, I took out my 7-digit product serial number, which you'll find here. You just have to you know take the screen out, sort of. It's behind this. Okay, you have to, there are two layers, right? So the product ID is written somewhere here. It's a 7-digit number. So what I did was I fed the number to the Nikon website to check whether my camera could be affected, and lo and behold, according to Nikon, my camera is affected. So I spoke to some people. I spoke to, in fact, several people who have the Nikon Z8. All of them were worried, and all of them fed their product serial number onto the website and found that their cameras could also be affected. Okay. So but then I asked them, have you been using your camera? They all said yes. Have you been using them professionally? They all said yes. Did you have any trouble so far? No. Okay, now before I talk to you about why you should not panic about the whole matter, I'll tell you my case, because my camera could be affected, right? Now, since the launch of this camera, and I was a very early purchaser, buyer of this camera, I have used larger lenses on the camera. I've used the 85 1.2 extensively on the Z8. I have used the 500 PF, which is a pretty more than a kilo. It's a pretty heavy lens. It's not a light lens by any means. It's a telephoto prime lens. Along with the adapter, I've used it. Okay, then I have used the 100 to 400, and I have used the 35 Tamron adapter. That's also a heavy lens. All of these lenses are about 900, 950 grams or more than a kilo, right? All right, well above a kilogram in weight. So all these lenses that I've been using so far, I never even had any idea that there could be any problem with my camera. In short, I had no problem attaching those lenses to my Z8. Right now, I have the 40 f2 mounted on the Z8. It was absolutely perfect. I have no trouble mounting it. Now let's try and mount another lens. Okay, let me take out this one. This is the 85 1.8. All you need to check is to see whether any of your lenses are giving you any trouble while you're trying to mounting them on the camera. Now, by the way, the reason I am using the 85 1.80 here is because I have not used the 85 1.8 on the Z8 yet. So there you go. Now this lens got mounted on my camera perfectly, and it gave me the clicking sound. I have tried this with all my lenses. None of the lenses had any problem. So what does it mean? Because according to Nikon, my camera could be affected from the mount issue. Now, there is a high chance that your camera is not actually affected. So when companies with a very high standards, even if they find rare cases of a fault in their products, they become cautious about it, and they feel that it is their obligation, and it's an ethical practice for them to inform the customer that you could be suffering from this issue. So Nikon would have found a few batches where few cameras would have been certainly affected. That does not mean all the cameras in those batches are affected. That's the first thing that one should understand. Not all the cameras from those batches are affected. Some cameras could be. So they have a tolerance levels of, let's say, one fault or five faults in 1 million products, right? So they have that sort of tolerance levels. They have a percentage of fault that is accepted by their manufacturing and their excellent production and manufacturing sort of standards and quality check standards. So there you will see that if you have 2% more or 1% more, even 0.3% more than what is accepted by the standards, they will issue a notice telling people, look, there could be a case of some faults in your cameras. And if there is any such thing, just try and see whether your camera, your product is from the batch that where you have found a slightly higher levels of fault. And if so, please inform us. And if you do, then they'll repair it. Therefore, there is no need for you to panic or to rush. You continue to shoot your projects. Don't come back home thinking you're going to, your camera is going to go give you problems during shoot. It's not going to give you. If it's not giving you a problem, it's perfectly all right. Finish your projects, finish your job, finish if you're traveling with the camera, come back home. Just don't worry about it. Once you're done with what you're doing right now, contact your nearest Nikon office or service center, schedule a meeting, and when you can, let the camera be away from you for about 10 days or 5 days or whatever that appropriate number of days for you is in your market, whenever you can accommodate for that sort of time, plan it. Give it to Nikon. Let them check it out. If you have not found any problem, because it's a physical problem, right? It's not a software problem. You will either be able to mount the lens on the camera, or you will not be able to. Either it clicks and fits snugly, or it doesn't. You'll know, right? If there is any movement, you'll know. If it's too tight, you'll know. In my case, it's absolutely perfect. There's no problem at all. So I don't expect any real problem to actually emerge, even when I actually give it to Nikon for a check, just for my satisfaction. And to be honest, I'm not bothered, so I'm probably not going to do it anytime soon. But what happens in these cases are that now that Nikon has announced it, and even if you do not find any fault with your camera today, let's say, and you find your fault with the camera, let's say 2 years down the line when the warranty is over, let's say, it's fine. You can still take the camera to Nikon and say, okay, you know, I seem to have a problem. Can you help me? They're very likely to help you. I think they will help you. Having said that, I don't think you should wait for 2 years. The bigger point is that if your camera is in working condition right now, don't worry about it. Don't panic about it. There's nothing wrong. It's a minor issue. These things keep happening. And these things typically keep happening in the first few batches because it's a first production. It's an assembly line, right? So it's a first run of that of production of that particular product. So it gets better, as time goes by. So people who typically buy the product new, like me, us, we are very enthusiastic about new products. We want to buy the first body in my market. Like I always want to do that. So therefore, I mean, there could be such issues in the first few batches. And I would say this is a great news because Nikon is so attentive about it. Now I know Matt Irwin's camera is also apparently is in that list. There could be problem in Matt's camera, but he hasn't found any. And you see he's shot so many videos of the Z8, right? So it's working perfectly. The other friends that I have in my market, which is in India, I've spoken to 3-4 people, 4 people. All of them, they were very scared, but it's not a problem at all. So don't worry about it. So I'm repeating myself because it's important to repeat. There could be people who are just panicking and thinking, oh, I don't know what's happening. Uh, First, I had to wait for quite a few years to get the Z8, and now there's a problem. There's no problem. It's all fine. I thought that it was important for me to just talk to you about this, to tell you that you should not panic. Now, if you have been following my channel, have been watching my channel but not subscribing, please do. I have given it's a target for myself. I want to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of July. I know at the rate at which this channel has been growing, it's difficult. But if you want to help me out, do subscribe and like, and probably share a comment. That just helps the algorithm push my video deeper into the network of people who are interested in the kind of content that I create. So if you are willing to do that, I'm in advance, I'm thanks, and come back soon to watch my next episode. And I think I'm going to do this on, I've been saying this for a while now, that I want to share my views on that 12 to 28 DX lens. It's a wonderful little lens, and I'm almost done with the video. So you're going to see that next on my channel. See you soon.